Just to warn you guys, I've had an elephant's dose of caffeine today, so I'm probably going to move around a lot. Is everyone here ready to rock? I mean, seriously, give me some noise here, people. We brought the 140 conference to Vancouver, Washington before Portland. That's pretty awesome. There you go. Are you guys ready to learn some skills that will help you drive your brand and your career to the next level in 2011? Awesome, because I bet someone talks about that shit later. If you don't know me, my name's Jason. That's me right there, if you haven't seen it. And what I want to talk to you about isn't me, because we can do that later over a beer at your expense. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about social media and what I think it means. And Dave, right? He said there's nothing new about that, and I tend to agree. Social media, unfortunately, there's a lot of hype around it, a lot of buzz, a lot of tools. There's Hootsuite, TweetDeck, Twitbyte, Twiriad. There's all these websites that start with TW, and everyone's all excited about what they can do for your social media strategy. And there's also a lot of buzzwords being invented, people slamming two words together that were previously unrelated with a hyphen, and then a social media guru was born. We are guru free. So what I want to talk about though is the hype, because when you talk about social media, every 5 minutes something is game changing or groundbreaking, or dare I say paradigm shifting. And so what I want to share with you guys today is that what I'm doing with social media is definitely not breaking any ground. I'm not changing any games. I'm certainly not shifting any pairs of dimes or quarters or any other coin. What I'm doing with social media, to me, when you take this pepper bacon wrapped steak that is social media, and you peel away all the sexy dressing, the tools and the hype and the buzz, and you get down to the beefy core, social media is all about engagement. And engagement, my friends, I can tell you fairly certainly, is absolutely positively nothing new. We've been doing it since before we invented these opposable thumb things. Worked out pretty good for us so far, right? So, unfortunately, with the advent of social media, engagement has become somewhat of a buzzword itself. And so I'd like to tell you what I think it means. Engagement to me is the currency of the communication economy. That economy is equally old. It's been around since we were on 4 legs and probably before then. That communication economy is comprised of countless intellectual and emotional transactions between individuals. So when I say intellectual, I want you guys to realize that it need not be Rhodes Scholar material, okay? It could be a fart joke. But if you tell me that joke, chances are you wanted me to laugh. And chances are pretty good that I did, because I haven't grown past that stage yet. So your inner comedian got a little bit of validation, right? There was a little bit of soul nourishment. Maybe you don't need to pick up that heroin habit just yet. I got something out of it because I got a smile, I got a laugh, I got something I can take with me. Namely a fart joke to my next family get-together, which is awesome because I don't like family get-togethers and my family hates fart jokes. So we transacted there. We both walked away from that transaction feeling like we're richer than we came into it with. And that is the essence of engagement. We spent engagement there because engagement is time and effort, and time and effort is money. So that's why I say engagement is the currency of that. So once again, nothing new there, not exciting. Little bit of a segue. How many here have read Clan of the Cave Bear? Make some noise for Clan of the Cave Bear. I mean, it's a very exciting book, people. So the conventional wisdom is that Clan of the Cave Bear is a coming-of-age story about a human girl, prepubescent girl that's got to grow up with these proto-hominid, hairy, apish folk. And, you know, like I said, a coming-of-age tale. I started reading Clan of the Cave Bear right as I was getting really heavy into what the kids call the Twitters. And I saw a lot of parallels between that book and social media. And I can hopefully explain that to you pretty succinctly. The proto-hominid hairy apish folk, we'll call them the stinkers for short. Pretty sure they don't bathe regularly. They are a hunting people. They hunt mammoth. And in order to do that, you need to break yourself up into smaller tribal units. I see you giggling over there, Jason. It's cool. So they break themselves into these smaller tribal units. And the tribal units each have their own cave. And within that cave, that tribal unit is broken up into smaller family units, and every family unit has their own hearth. Or what I'm going to call a campfire, because it's got a much more marshmallowy kumbaya vibe to it. So every night, the family unit sits down around their hearth or campfire, and they are exchanging intellectually and emotionally. They're talking about their day. It's not all that different than what you do every night, hopefully with your loved ones when you get home from work. So that happens every day, and we're used to that. There's nothing new there. Then about once every fiscal quarter, because the stinkers invented the fiscal year, if you didn't know that, the entire tribe gets together outside the cave at a larger campfire, and they exchange intellectually and emotionally on a larger scale. They're having their religious ceremonies. So-and-so's voice got lower this year, so he gets to pick his wife, which sucks for her because he's a total Neanderthal. So that happens about once every few months, whenever there's a change of seasons, and that's nothing new either. It's much like a conference, which I don't know if you guys can picture what it's like to be at a conference, but about once every 7 years, the entire race or population of the stinkers get together at a predetermined location to have their festival, I guess you call it. That to them is the equivalent of a global campfire. Everything they know about the world is coming together. And they're exchanging information. They're building relationships. They're trading wives, which is kind of weird, but you don't need to do that on Twitter. That's more Craigslist. So they get together and they're exchanging extremely valuable information. We haven't seen any mammoths in this area in 2 years, and that's a problem because that was our most fertile hunting ground. Also things like, where the hell did the ice go? You know, you can imagine a prehistoric Al Gore acting out, you know, a presentation with shadow puppets on the inside of a cave. That's the kind of information, and that's the kind of exchange that I feel is happening potentially every second of every day on Twitter and Facebook, to a much lesser extent things like Plurk and Orkut. So, how many people know what those are, by the way? I knew Bruce would. So, that is happening every second of every day. And before you get all wrapped up in the sex appeal of social media and the tools and all the different buzzwords and hype, do me a favor and get wrapped up in the engagement part first, because we already know how to do that. And the engagement part is what keeps me coming back every day and walking away a better person for it. So that's why I come to that campfire every day, and I hope to see you there as well, because I think we can exchange some pretty cool information, perhaps maybe a fart joke every now and then. So thanks a lot for listening to me. My name's Jason, and it was a pleasure to talk with you today.